Hi Dave. So I'm back here with the video for the Dropdown menu project. So unfortunately, I still wasn't able to get it working because even if I do for some reason, it just doesn't draw. But I guess I will talk more about the entire process. Basically my idea. So I have a general notes that I drew to like plan out the project to to approach it. Basically my idea was like, so we have the input box, and then so basically I have a list of items. The data structure I chose is to use a linked list. So you have a whole bunch of items. The input box specifically is special that connects, and it points to the next item in the list. And then and then with the input box, if there's a mouse input, then it will reveal the entire list, following the instructions of the project. Um, Also, to position like the item, I'd use like the get global bounds, and then get the dimensions, and make sure that the bottom of the item is um, corresponds with or matches up with the top of the next item. It's just more SFML specific stuff. And in order to show the all the items, I would use enumerators or states. So I guess that was unfortunately, because of that, that's as part of the plan as I went to, and that was my best. I tried my best to implement everything. However, there was just a lot of different components that I guess this took a little bit longer, and I think my biggest regret is that one, I started a little bit too late, and second, I just didn't go to office hours, and I think that's, yeah, it's a big regret because I think if I feel like if I went to office hours, I would have been able to really complete this project. And it was a bummer because I really had a lot of fun with this project because I got to learn more about SFML. So for example, as you look here, it's the item. This is, I said in the comments, like this is basically our node in the linked list, and it has like, this would be considered like the text would be considered our data. The font is like a detail for the text, and this is like the general shape of the node basically. And then there are basically, in a way, this kind of resembles like it kind of resembles like a linked list because of all the functionality. Like, whoops, or this is basically like the node part, and then like the item list is basically our linked list. So it's kind of like algorithm here, or like adding a node to the linked list or the list is basically very similar. I use the head and tail. I think something I really wish I could have done is just do the undo part, um, so that I can get it working. But unfortunately, I was not able to. I think I still don't have a approach for the undo, but I think um, I definitely need to think a little bit more about that. I did try to fix everything and try to get everything together. My understanding of inheritance is still a bit shaky though, so I guess that's why I think going to office hours would have been really helpful. Um, Another thing in going to my thought process is that the input box is like I said, like in the beginning, it was like the input box is basically connecting to the linked list of items. So it's like an item itself. So if we see here, it's an item. It's essentially an item. I feel like this kind of approach is very unconventional, and I don't think it's the way you wanted it. But I at least wanted to try it to see if it would work. I feel like, again, like going to office hours would have been really helpful because then I could get your input on that. So I think in the future I will be going to office hours at least for approaching the project, because like I wanted to. I think when I in the input box for one of the constructors, or at least when I was making the drop down menu, I was like, okay, we're gonna um, the box, the input box is next is the head. I think, yeah, this is just I feel like I had a very interesting idea, a very unconventional one, but like, yeah, going off sides would have been very helpful. And I guess I'm glad that I at least attempted it. Yeah. Um, yeah, just I guess this is my project video, and I hope this displayed my struggle, my journey through the entire process for the project. Thank you, Dave.